On the days after Julie's death, the headline was simple: GSP, woman lying in roadway when hit. That was the story the public was given. But after reviewing the Baldwin County records, the body cam footage, the 911 call, and now the Georgia State Patrol investigative file, I believe there's a part of Julie's story that deserves a much closer look. Because Julie Jackson's story doesn't begin on Register Road. It begins roughly 90 minutes earlier. At approximately 2:25 that morning, Baldwin County deputies responded to a fight on Colony Farm Road. According to the incident report, by the time deputies arrived, Julie Jackson, Jennifer Ayers, and Josh had already left. The incident ends at approximately 3:20 that morning. Then less than an hour later, and approximately 4:05, another call comes in. This time, it's Register Road. A driver reports striking what they initially believed was a large animal lying in the roadway. He turns around, and it wasn't an animal. It was Julie Jackson. That's the timeline. And that's where my questions begin. Because Colony Farm Road and Register Road were treated as two separate incidents. And I'm not saying one caused the other, but we're talking about the final 90 minutes of Julie Jackson's life. And if we're trying to understand how Julie ended up on Register Road with no shoes, no personal effects, no phone, I believe we have to understand what happened before Register Road. And here's where the paperwork gets interesting, because at the bottom of the Colony Farm incident report, it states that Jennifer Ayers later came to the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office and completed a witness and complaint statement. The report says that the statement would be attached, but today, that statement no longer exists. According to the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office, it was destroyed pursuant to records retentions. And that's significant because we know Jennifer gave a statement about what happened that night shortly after it happened. But we can't read it, we can't listen to it, and we can't compare that original statement to what Jennifer would later tell the Georgia State Patrol. But we do have Jennifer's interview with the Georgia State Patrol. And tonight, you're going to hear portions of it. Because when I listen to this interview, I'm not concerned with every detail of Jennifer's life. I'm not concerned with every accusation about Julie's past. I'm not concerned with every reference to drugs or every piece of personal history that can take us away from the central question. I'm concerned with that night. Where was Julie? Who was she with? What happened after Colony Farm Road? How did Julie Jackson end up on Colony Farm Road? That's what we're listening for. The Georgia State Patrol is now interviewing one of the people who was reportedly with Julie during her final 90 minutes of life. And this is where I want you to listen carefully, not to the sides of the story, not to the distractions. Listen to the timeline. Listen to where Jennifer says they went. Listen to what she says happened after Colony Farm Road. Listen to what she says about Julie leaving the vehicle. Because now we're moving beyond reports. We're hearing directly from someone who was there.
I'm the investigator that's handling the crash for Julie. So
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out all the pieces how they all work together. What is your involvement with this?
Julie was with me that night.
Okay. So
Me and
you, Josh, and Brittany?
me, Josh, Brittany, and Eric Adams.
Okay. And what were y'all doing?
So we went out that night. We went to Duke's, and then we went to Capital City downtown, and then we left Capital City, and we were headed home. We went through, I guess it's Irwinton Road. Julie's phone lit up. Julie has been living with me.
Okay.
Julie's my best friend. We've been friends for about 15 years. Her phone lit up, and I saw that it was somebody that she used to do drugs with. It was a text message. And I was like, I started fussing at her. Julie, you know you can't be talking to these people. We've gone through this over and over. But anyway, so I seen that message in her phone, and I was like, Julie, stop. You can't do this. We've already talked about this. I'm not going to keep putting myself and my family through this. If you're not going to keep trying, if you're going to give up and you're going to keep talking to these people, you're not going to make it. You cannot stay sober this way.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want her to relapse.
Yeah.
So I stayed on her ass. And so anyway, while we were arguing, she throws her phone out the window. She said, "Fuck the phone," and threw it out the window. So then she said, "Turn around and go get my phone." And Josh said, "No, we're not turning around. We're going home. You shouldn't throw your phone out the window. We're going home."
Yeah.
So we went on to Eric's house, and me, Brittany, and Julie was sitting in the back seat of my Tahoe. Josh and Eric were in the front, and we pulled into Eric's house. At this time, we had been stopped. You know, we wasn't talking about the phone anymore.
Yeah.
And when I say we were arguing about the phone, I don't know if people are taking this the wrong way, but we were not screaming and fighting, about the phone. We were having a conversation.
Yeah.
A conversation so Eric and Josh didn't even know we were having this conversation.
Yeah.
We've talked about it a million times because I need to understand why my friend is dead. I need to understand.
Yeah.
So, of course, we've talked about it a million times, and I've played this over in my head 1,000,002 times to find out, what did I say so bad,
Right.
So, we get to Eric's house. Brittany got out of the back seat. She was on the driver's side. In the back. She gets out, walks around to the passenger side. Me and Julie had the window down because we were telling Eric bye.
Yeah.
She starts hitting my car, screaming, telling me that it ain't none of my business who Julie talks to. Just goes off about mine and Julie's conversation.
Right.
She didn't say anything while we were in the car. She waits till we get there to flip her damn wig.
Yeah.
And they all seen it. So she grabbed me by my hair. I leaned over Julie and I was yelling back at her. And she grabbed me by my hair and tried to snatch me through the window of my car. Tried to pull me out the window by my hair. And was hitting me in the top of my head. And Julie's pulling me back, trying to break it up, And Josh and Eric's telling Brittany to stop. And so she finally opens the door and I got out and fought her back.
Yeah.
So then we left. Her mama was pulling up, which is the strangest thing. We still don't understand why Brittany's mama was pulling up as we were arguing, like she planned this argument,
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to know, but I'll never know. We left there. Me, Julie, and Josh.
Uh-huh.
Me and Julie were still in the back seat.
Right.
So we start talking about the phone again.
Right.
I think that I told her, this is all your fault. But it wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault. Brittany had no right to show her ass like that.
Yeah.
So Julie says, we're talking about the phone again, and she says, "Let me out." So she goes to open the door. We had just turned on Register Road. I think we were probably halfway down Register Road. She opens the door, Josh stops, and she gets out the car. Well, Josh gets out of the car and goes after her. She was running down the road. Josh goes after her and couldn't get her to come back to the car. I jumped in the driver's seat, and I yelled out the window, "If y'all don't come on, I'm leaving both of y'all." Well, he came back to the car. I never moved the car. I just got in the driver's seat and said that, and he comes back to the car and gets in the car. We go down to the end of the road, turn around, come back down the road, screaming her name out the windows. I said, at this point, I'm thinking, well, she's done went to her mama's house.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, that's where she's gone to. She wanted to get high. So we go over there to her mama's driveway. We turn around in the driveway because we didn't see her out there. We go across the street to Larry, I think his last name's Etheridge, to see if she went over there because she used to stay over there too when she was getting high. So we looked through his yard, didn't see her. Go back down Register Road, and probably done that 2 or 3 times back and forth down Register Road. And she was hiding. She had to have been hiding from us. Maybe she was waiting on us to leave to go to her mama's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand. I'll never understand. But so then I went home. I texted her mama to see if she had heard from her, but she was at work.
Okay.
And then first thing that morning, I'm texting her mama again. "Have you heard from Julie yet?" She's still at work. So I'm thinking, well, maybe she went over there anyway. His name is Kurt Kurt McClooney, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm thinking, well, that's where Julie's at. And I'm also thinking that Bonnie's lying to me, you know, that she really knows that Julie's there. She just don't want to tell me.
Right.
So I said, well, when you get off work, will you go with me to look for her? You know, to see if she was going to say no or something like that. But she said, yeah. So then I believed that Julie wasn't there. So I went and picked her up, and we looked for her.
Yeah.
We looked everywhere. Everywhere. I kept telling her, where would she go if she was going to get high? You know, and it had to have been a house over there because she didn't have a phone, and so she had to have gone somewhere in that neighborhood. You know, that's what I'm thinking this whole time.
Yeah.
So we looked everywhere. Bonnie had called the sheriff's office and the hospital to see if maybe she got arrested for public drunk or if she got hurt, you know.
Yeah.
And then at 12 o'clock, we pulled back up in Bonnie's driveway, and the police are sitting there.
And that's when you found out?
Well, we kept hearing that there was an accident on Register Road, but I kept telling Bonnie there's no way it could have been Julie because she wasn't in a car. They said it was a car accident. I said, but there's no way that it was Julie because she wasn't in a car.
Yeah.
We found her necklace that she was wearing that night, a piece of it on that road, and we was looking for her. And I'm thinking, you know, maybe it fell off of her that night and it's been hit by traffic, you know, and it tore it up. Never would I have thought that she was killed on that road that night.
Right.
But yeah, we looked for her, and we heard about the accident. But as soon as we seen the cop cars in the driveway, we knew.
Yeah.
We knew that accident had something to do with Julie.
And that was Jennifer's account. Her account of what happened during the final hours before Julie Jackson was found dead on Register Road. But Jennifer wasn't the only person with Julie that night. There was Josh. Law enforcement never interviewed Josh. New Media did. And that means New Media now has the accounts of both people who were with Julie during her final 90 minutes of life. And tonight you heard Jennifer. Next episode, we're putting Jennifer and Josh side by side. Same night, same 90 minutes, 2 accounts. And we're putting it on the scale. This is Lamar King Sr., investigative analyst, New Media, where the truth would never be silenced. Be great today.